Welcome, history enthusiasts and curious minds. Today, we're delving into the life of one of history's most infamous figures, Attila the Hun, a name that still sends shivers down spines. A leader who brought empires to their knees. But who was the man behind the myth? What drove him to such heights of power and brutality? We'll peel back the layers of time. We'll reveal the true story of the man known as the Scourge of God. Prepare yourselves for a journey into the heart of the 5th century, from the steppes of Central Asia to the gates of Rome itself. This is the untold story of Attila the Hun. The story of Attila begins not with a bang, but with a whisper. Born around 406 AD, he entered a world in flux. The Roman Empire was crumbling. Barbarian tribes were on the move, and in the vast grasslands of Central Asia, a new power was rising. The Huns. Little is known about Attila's childhood. He was born into the ruling class of the Hunnic Empire. His uncle Ruger was king. From an early age, Attila was groomed for leadership. He learned to ride before he could walk. He could shoot a bow from horseback with deadly accuracy. These were the skills that would make the Huns feared across 2 continents. In 434 AD, Attila and Bleda ascended to the throne. At first they ruled jointly, but tensions simmered beneath the surface. Attila was ambitious, aggressive. Bleda was more cautious. Their differing styles clashed repeatedly. For nearly a decade, this uneasy partnership continued. The brothers led successful campaigns against the Eastern Roman Empire. They extorted massive tributes. They expanded Hunnic territory, but for Attila, it wasn't enough. In 445 AD, Attila made his move. Some say Bleda was assassinated during a hunt. Attila now stood alone as the supreme ruler of the Huns. With absolute power secured, Attila turned his gaze outward. In 447 AD, he launched a massive invasion of the Eastern Roman Empire. Cities fell like dominoes. Entire regions were laid waste. The Romans, once invincible, now fled in terror before the Hunnic hordes. Attila's tactics were as brutal as they were effective. He used speed and mobility to outmaneuver his enemies. His horsemen seemed to appear out of nowhere. They struck with lightning speed, then vanished into the wilderness. By 450 AD, Attila's empire stretched from the Caspian Sea to the Rhine. He had defeated the armies of both Roman empires. He had reshaped the political landscape of Europe, but still Attila hungered for more. As Attila's power grew, Rome found itself in an unprecedented position. For centuries, the Eternal City had been the unquestioned master of the Western world. Now it faced a threat unlike any it had encountered before. The very foundations of Roman civilization began to shake. The economy, already strained by years of decline, buckled under the weight of Attila's demands. Massive tributes drained the imperial treasury. Trade routes were disrupted. Entire provinces were lost to Hunnic raids. The once mighty Roman military found itself outclassed and outmaneuvered at every turn. In 452 AD, Attila invaded Italy itself. The road to Rome lay open. Attila's impact extended far beyond the borders of his empire, reaching into the very heart of Europe. All of Europe felt the tremors of his conquests. Entire populations were displaced, forced to leave their homes and seek refuge elsewhere. Refugees flooded into areas already struggling to cope with their own issues, creating a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented scale. The delicate balance of power that had existed for centuries was upended overnight. Kingdoms and empires that had once been stable were now in turmoil. In the wake of Hunnic invasions, new alliances were forged out of necessity. Former rivals had to put aside their differences to face a common enemy. Old enemies became reluctant partners in the face of a common threat. The need for survival brought together those who had once been bitter foes. The Visigoths, longtime foes of Rome, now fought alongside Roman legions. This unlikely alliance was a testament to the fear Attila inspired. The political map of Europe was being redrawn by the point of Attila's sword. Borders shifted, and new territories emerged from the chaos. Attila's conquests accelerated the fall of the Western Roman Empire. The once mighty empire was now crumbling under the pressure. As Rome weakened, other groups saw their chance to rise. They seized opportunities to expand their own influence and territories. The seeds of medieval Europe were being sown in the chaos of Attila's wake. The foundations of a new era were laid amidst the destruction. Behind the legends and the fear, Attila was a man of surprising complexity. Contemporary accounts paint a picture far removed from the mindless barbarian of popular imagination. He was described as intelligent, curious, and even cultured. He spoke multiple languages and showed a keen interest in the customs of conquered peoples. Yet this sophistication coexisted with a capacity for extreme brutality. Attila could be charming one moment and ruthlessly cruel the next. He used terror as a weapon, deliberately cultivating a reputation for savagery. Cities that resisted were razed to the ground. Populations were massacred as examples to others. He was said to be loyal to his close friends and advisors. He could be generous to those who served him well. Behind Attila's fearsome reputation lay a mind of remarkable strategic brilliance. His strategies were not just about brute force. They were meticulously planned and executed with precision. He was not merely a barbarian raider, but a military innovator who revolutionized warfare. His tactics were ahead of his time, blending traditional methods with innovative approaches. His armies moved with a speed and flexibility that left his enemies reeling. This mobility allowed him to strike unexpectedly, catching his foes off guard and unprepared. He understood the power of mobility in an age of static defenses. While others relied on fortified positions, Attila's forces could appear and disappear like the wind. Attila's genius lay in his ability to adapt. He was a master at reading the battlefield and adjusting his strategies in real time to exploit his enemies' weaknesses. He learned from every encounter, incorporating new tactics and technologies. His ability to assimilate and improve upon the techniques of his adversaries made him a formidable opponent. From the Romans, he learned the art of siege warfare. He studied their methods and adapted them to suit his own needs, making his sieges more effective and devastating. From the Persians, he adopted heavy cavalry. This addition gave his forces a new dimension, combining the brute strength of heavy cavalry with the agility of his horse archers. He combined these elements with traditional Hunnic horse archery to create a force of unprecedented versatility. His troops could switch tactics seamlessly, adapting to any situation on the battlefield. He was a master of diplomacy and psychological warfare. Attila knew that battles were not won by strength alone. He used cunning and strategy to outmaneuver his enemies off the battlefield as well. He played his enemies against each other, forging and breaking alliances as it suited him. His ability to manipulate and deceive made him a feared and respected leader. His very name became a weapon. The mere mention of Attila struck fear into the hearts of his enemies, a testament to his enduring legacy as one of history's greatest conquerors. All empires must end, and Attila's was no exception. In 452 AD, at the height of his power, he faced his first major setback. His invasion of Italy, which had seemed unstoppable, ground to a halt. Disease ravaged his army. Supply lines were stretched to the breaking point. And then, a fateful meeting changed everything. Pope Leo I, in a bold move, rode out to meet Attila. What transpired between them remains a mystery. Whatever the reason, Attila withdrew. The invincible conqueror had been turned back at the gates of Rome. In 453 AD, Attila died. With Attila's death, his once formidable empire quickly unraveled, unable to sustain itself without his iron-fisted leadership. His sons, lacking the unity and strategic prowess of their father, fought among themselves, each vying for control but ultimately failing to match their father's leadership. Within a year, the vast Hunnic Empire had disintegrated into fragmented territories, each struggling to maintain its own identity. The peoples they had conquered, long oppressed under Hunnic rule, seized the opportunity to reassert their independence and reclaim their lands. The Huns themselves faded into obscurity, their once feared name becoming little more than a distant memory in the annals of history. Yet Attila's impact on history was far from over. His campaigns and the chaos he unleashed had long-lasting effects. The turmoil he caused significantly accelerated the fall of the Western Roman Empire, hastening its decline. The power vacuum left by Rome's collapse reshaped the political landscape of medieval Europe, leading to the rise of new powers. New kingdoms and realms arose from the ashes of the old order, each carving out its own place in the new world. In a very real sense, Attila had midwifed the birth of a new era, one marked by the emergence of medieval Europe. Attila's legacy lived on in culture and imagination, inspiring countless stories, legends, and historical analyses. His life continues to fascinate historians and the public alike as they delve into the complexities of his reign and its enduring impact on the world. And there you have it, history enthusiasts, the untold story of Attila the Hun, a tale of ambition, conquest, and the shaping of an era. We've journeyed from the steppes of Central Asia to the gates of Rome. We've seen the rise and fall of an empire that shook the world, but our journey doesn't end here. History is full of fascinating stories waiting to be told, so if you've enjoyed this glimpse into the life of Attila the Hun, why not join us for more? Hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss an episode. Leave a like if you found this video informative. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep that curiosity burning.